Are we on? Are we live? I think we're live. Hey, atmospheric perspective and perspective are two totally different things. Perspective is the thing that makes other things look like they are sloping back away from you. Atmospheric perspective is what makes things look hazy in the far background so that you see that they're far back in the background and not connected. We're going to play with those today while we watercolor some spoopy Halloweeny stuff. So let's turn the page and get started. Ooh, it's spoopy Halloweeny. What, did the music start? The music did not start. Why didn't the music start? You would think that the music would have started. What do I need to do to make the music start? That. There we go. Now we have music. That'll be way more better for all the times that I forget to talk. So tonight we're going to start with a zombies graveyard scene. Those of you who have been watching for a while may be aware that, I say watching for a while, I haven't been doing evening streams like I used to, but when I did Thursday evening streams all the time, I used to absolutely love doing the Halloweeny season streams. Halloweeny season streams. Hey, there's my mom. The Halloweeny season streams were always my favorite, and I would build up to them. I would start building up to them in July. start sneaking a few spoopy things in here and there. It's always been my favorite. It's the spoopy season. It's not so much the candy as it is the Reese's peanut butter cups. The spoopiness of it all, the creepiness of it all, the Morticia Adams, Lily, Munster, Hotness, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Bride of Frankenstein with her flaming red hair and the silver streaks that the electricity shocked through it. You can't see that in the old black and white movie that the Bride of Frankenstein had flaming red hair. Hey, Ivy! You can't see in the old black and white movies, and for years nobody really paid any attention to that. I think that's my mom there. Hi, Mom.
Hey.
So we were just talking about my love of the Halloweeny season.
Right.
I know that shocks you.
I know. No idea you like the Halloween season.
Ivy says happy birthday. Today is my mother's birthday. She is what? Are you 39? I think she's 39.
I wish 39.
You don't want to be 39 again.
And,
There are lots of problems that come with being 39.
that's true.
There's lots of good things that come with being 39, but there's lots of problems that come with being 39. I don't know, 39 was a pretty good year for me. My son was born when I was 39. My youngest son was born when I was 39. So it was a pretty good year for me. Okay, so we got the borders taped off there. And let's see what we've got to work with. Now I'm going to show you. I have some old. I have this old graveyard scene that I did 6 years ago. I'm going to kind of use that as a guideline for the graveyard background. So I'm just going to set it over here so that I can kind of look up and see it when I need to. I'm not going to try and copy it exactly, but then I have a pinup that I did back in 2017 of Zolvsky. I have no idea how to say her name. Zolvxy Zolvsky from Sharifi Shoots. I did this pinup sketch back in back in 2017, and I thought that that would make a really nice corpse bride type zombie coming up out of the graveyard. If you've never seen the Corpse Bride, Helena Bonham Carter is sexy in every movie she's in, and so I thought that this pinup, and I even found a photograph that's almost the exact same pose as the Corpse Bride. So I thought that I would make 39 is a tough age, is what Ivy says. So I thought that would make a nice zombie bride coming up out of there. And then I tried to figure out how to make it fit on the page. And at first I printed it in a portrait, and you can see that if I do it in a portrait and I line it up on here, the most important part is going to be below the border and off the page, and I don't want that. So I'm going to I took and I printed it in landscape, and then when I did it in landscape, I felt like it was too small. It doesn't have the presence that I'm looking for. And so I found a happy medium. I put it into another app and made it about 3/4 the size. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut the top of her head off there, and I'll extend her fingers below the border, and I'll remove the tape, and I'll go ahead and extend her fingers down below the border like she's climbing out of the border. I think that'll make a really nice spoopy scene. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to take that watercolor of the graveyard, and we're going to put this pinup on top of it, but we're not going to put it in as a pinup. We're going to put it in as the Corpse Bride. That's the process. It's been a while since I've done this. Hopefully it works out. If it doesn't, my mom has faith. If it doesn't work out, we'll all be here together. Romanovsky Savior, welcome on the vertical side. Welcome on the vertical side. Let's start with sketching in where we want where are my pens? Let's start with sketching in how I want to do this graveyard. So I really like this graveyard scene that I have over here, so I don't really want to change it up too much. I'm going to give us a little bit of a slope of the foreground, another little slope of the background, because I think that adds depth. We're going to come out of this with this tombstone here. I'm using a watercolor pencil. It should wash away. I think it's a watercolor pencil. It may not. Yeah, it says it's a watercolor pencil. I'm using a watercolor pencil. It should wash away. We're just going to sketch in the lines where I think I want them, to make sure that there's room. Like, you know, the composition is the most important part. Making sure there's room on the whole. Making sure there's room on the whole page. We want it spoopy, so we want lots of Gothic symbolism. We want lots of sharp edges. We want lots of bats. Bats are probably the most important part of this. Ivy loves the bats too, so I know that she understands. We've got to have bats. You know, I pretty much am just copying this straight up, so that's okay because it's my drawing. I'm not violating anything. But it's nice to keep your old sketches around, just for this reason. You keep your old sketches around, you can repurpose them for later projects. I struggle with that because I hate having stacks of old sketchbooks around. So I struggle with keeping the sketches around. That's always been a struggle for me. I don't like it. Let's put the moon. You have to have the moon back back here so that some of the stuff is in silhouette. Plus, you've got to have a way to illuminate your bats. Right? Now, let's go on top of that. I have some carbon paper here. And this time I'm going to use blue. I used red last time. This time I'm going to use blue. I'm not going to press as hard. Romanovsky, what part of the world are you in? Do they celebrate Halloween there? I'm absolutely excited for Halloween. So let's put her right there. Almost centered on that edge. Not right up against this edge, but almost centered on that edge. Tape her down so she can't move while I'm tracing her. Right? And then I have these little rounded ball pointy things to trace with, and we can get where she goes, how her shape works. You get a really good idea of how she's going to fit in the space. Can't talk arting. It's hard for me to stay in the lines and chat. I'm not going to give her a mask. She's wearing a mask. This pose, 27, no, this is 2022. COVID was still a thing, and in all of her poses on IG, she had a mask or a motorcycle helmet on. It was actually the motorcycle helmets that she wore that made me want to draw her more than anything. But I think, let's see, just make sure we got the inside of her hair, the outside of her hair, the hair coming in there, the neck. I want to make sure that I get all of that stuff in place before I remove it. I don't care about her bathing suit or her lingerie because we're going to sketch in the bride's wedding dress. Now, this stuff, this carbon paper, the fantastic thing about it is as long as you're careful with it, it lasts and lasts and lasts and lasts. You can reuse it about 1,000 times. And I have 100 sheets of it in various different colors. A lifetime supply. I may never ever run out of this stuff. But it's tricky getting it back in the bag. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's tricky like they're not you.
Is it a special carbon paper?
It's a water-soluble carbon paper. Got it upside down. It's water-soluble carbon paper, so that when I watercolor over it, if I watercolor over it just right, it'll come off. But I don't ever scrub it, so it doesn't really come off. That's why I try to match colors. So like this is going to be a spoopy bluish purplish kind of scene. It's going to be I didn't realize the camera was on my face. It's going to be a spoopy bluish purplish kind of scene. So if I use the blue on her, it will be easier to hide. It'll be easier to obscure in the watercolor portion. Now I have to freehand. I don't have to freehand. But I could have traced the bride stuff. But if I trace it, this figure is not the same as this figure. It's only essence of bride, right? So I have to make sure that the costume fits on Zolski the way it would have fit on our bride. So we will make a point to draw that in. I'm not sure that it will work out as much of a wedding dress as it's supposed to without drawing in the veil. Right? So we may have to add this other arm in. We'll add this other arm in, holding the bouquet of flowers. Like that. Because again, it's not so much about her being sexy as much as it is her being a corpse bride, is where we're trying to go with this. But I think that is all of the detail we need to get us where we're going. Don't you think? I think that'll get us there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it'll translate well as a bride's dress, but it will translate as a sexy zombie. Now, then the question is do I take bits of flesh away, or do I just trust her being a deadly blue and ghostly looking? Or I could even make her a bit transparent. So those are all things that we want to think about. At this stage of the game, we can still make quite a few changes. And I'm sorry?
Your coffee mugs fit under the camera.
Okay. Is it not supposed to be?
You're covering the drawing.
What drawing?
The sketch that you're making, you had your coffee cup right in the way of the camera.
Oh my. Well, I'll have to not hold my coffee cup anymore.
That's right. No more coffee.
Don't you? That's blasphemy, woman. That's blasphemy. So I'm going to go ahead and wet the background with some water. I've got some warm water, a very soft brush, warm water. It has a drop of 2-in-1 shampoo, Suave 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, because I like the way that keeps my brushes cleaned out and soft. We're just going to wet the paper. Not on her. So I got a little bit on her, but the goal is not to get on her. And the reason we don't want to get on her is because we don't want these colors to bleed on top of her. What we're doing right now, we want the colors we're going to do next are part of the atmospheric portion of this, and we don't want them. We want them to spread around in the background, but we don't want them to spread around on her. So, trying to be just a little careful, not get it on her. And you can see the watercolor lines, the watercolor pencil is fading away like it's supposed to. Now on my palette, I have two different palettes set up here. My two different palettes, I have a warm palette and I have a cool palette. I have them separated from each other. These are just some old plates that I bought at a thrift store. I have them separated from each other so that they can't combine and make mud. If you mix the warm palette and the cool palette, when they combine, they'll make mud, and I don't want that. But I do want a little bit of yellow ochre and a little bit of this cobalt blue to get us a nice glowing green. Just a little bit of yellow ochre, a little bit of cobalt blue. I spritzed my watercolors before we started so they would be nice and moist, juicy, so that I could do cool stuff like spread them quickly. More blue. There will be lots of stops along the way to dry layers, I promise. But if we don't do this, then we won't have the light shining through the back in the right tone. So we want to make sure we do that first, right? And then we can get some Payne's Gray. We're just going to go real light with the Payne's Gray and start putting in some of the details before we lose them completely to the wash. This is not our final pass with these. This is just to reestablish where they are. We don't want to lose them. Like I said, we just have a little bit of Payne's Gray on the brush. We're just trying to get our background established so we look like we're in a cemetery. This is going to take several layers. This is just the first pass. So, that said, let me dry this. This will be the theme for the night. Let me dry this real quick. Dry. And I don't want to dry all the way. I'm not trying to, at this point, I'm not trying to dry it all the way. That would be a bad thing. I need something round. You would think that I would have already established something round. Is that going to be big enough? That'll be big enough. Let's take... What happened to my alcohol sprays? There they are. There we go. I probably could have free-handed that. It wouldn't have been as much fun, though. Now, let's come in with a little more. We're going to mix some Payne's Gray with the Cobalt Blue. We're going to do a little less green and a little more ultramarine. Red, yellow, green, red, blue, 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 red, purple, yellow, orange, red, blue, blue.
That's not funny.
It's terribly funny. It's terribly funny. Red, yellow, green, red, blue, 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 red, purple, yellow, orange, red, blue, blue. There's a cartoon where they talk about the colors when they mix colors, and he sings that song. He's a German scientist, Duck, from Scrooge McDuck, and he sings that song, and my mother gets that song stuck in her head, and it is hilarious. Me and the kids will just out of the blue sing it sometimes just to get that song stuck in her head. All right, yellow, green,
No
red.
respect.
Yellow, green,
No respect.
especially on your birthday. You would think on your birthday we would have more respect.
I know, no.
All right, yellow, green, red, blue, 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 red, purple,
You can
yellow.
stop anytime.
I'm not sure I can. I think I have it stuck in my head. Not sure that I can stop. And we can't stop. And we won't stop. We run the things that things don't. Things don't run. We... Every time we do this, it will add another ghostly layer to what we're trying to accomplish. And you'll see that things get pushed back. The darker things in the front will push the lighter things back. So like I'll come up with this tree one more time, and I'll darken these tombstones in one more time, but that tombstone is as dark as it's going to get. And I'll start adding some swirls in the background that will kind of blend all that in. And then I'll start adding some darker grasses in front, but not on top of her. And every time we do it, you'll see we'll add just a little more Payne's Gray to make it just a little darker. Because it's all about the layers. At this stage, it's all about the layers. The stuff in the back is hazy, and the stuff in the front, hi Ivy, welcome back. The stuff in the front is darker, and so it gets a little more attention from the Payne's Gray. And we can't stop, and we won't stop. Now on this tombstone, I wanted to remember to add this placard, right? So I have to remember that when I come around, I want to avoid that placard, or else it won't be there.
Hey, Pamela French.
Pamela French, I haven't seen you in forever, sweetheart. You know what we found? We found the box of acrylic paints that you sent me years ago that I never got around to using because we had a family issue, and I never got around to using them. I found them, and I intended to start using them tonight, but I had already set up the watercolors. But it's got the little Safari minis in it with the with the miniature sea life, like the. Did you send me the Safari minis with the manatee and the squids and stuff? Because that was in the box, but I don't remember if you sent that or if I just threw that in the same box. But I had lost that box, and I found it. So we were just talking about you. That's funny that you turned up tonight, because we were seriously just talking about you just a few hours ago. All right, now I need to dry this, because then I'm going to come around. I'm going to start adding atmospheric. I'm going to start adding fog around the edges so that moon stands out. So let me dry this real quick. My spritzer got caught on my wire. Everything just went to snot. I don't know what happened. The music's not playing. Why is my music not playing? Why is my music not playing? Why? What's happened to my music?
You're going in and out.
That's because
Disappear. Now you're back.
that's because I'm clicking stuff. I know what's happening. I just don't know why my music's not playing. Oh well, we may be the rest of the night without music. Christopher the Ghost. I don't know what happened. I do too know what happened. I clicked the button that said stop, and I meant to click. All right. So I know the picture was going in and out. I was trying to get the music started again. I don't know what's going on with the music. We'll have to figure something out. What happened was this. I have a button for my hair dryer right next to the button that stops the stream. I'm gonna have to address that going forward. I can't have that. So let's add just a little bit of yellow to this moon, just to give it a glowing green effect. right? I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to this moon. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow to the edge of this tombstone over here. We're going to pretend. We want to make sure that we don't mix the warms in with the cools. And we're going to pretend that that moonlight is shimmering off of that. I'm going to add a little bit of moonlight to the edge of this tree. We'll come back with some white too later on. Eventually we're going to have to move on to her though. Now before I move on to the final frontier, the final front part of the journey, I'm going to take this green that I made up earlier with the yellow ochre and the cobalt blue, and I'm going to add some more Payne's gray to it. I want it really watered down. Right? And I just really want my brush loaded up. And we're really just going to swirl it around. We don't care. We want it darker on the edge. We want it to get lighter as it gets closer to the moon. So we're going to spread it. I just really want to load it up. What we don't want is any white to show through the paper except where we want it really bright. That gives us the illusion that the moon is lighting everything up, that the light is coming from that moon. We want this side darker than that side. Now we're going to come back in with almost pure cobalt, or almost pure Payne's gray, because I want this to really stand out in the foreground. I want this even darker. I don't want the edges to be clean, because clean edges will suggest that they're not hazy. But I want them to be especially dark. Can't talk, Harting. Right? And that is how we're going to give the impression that all of that is in the background. Including, you can't see it on the vertical because there's a line in the way, including our bats. It's just not Halloween without bats. Now, should be able to take a little bit of white gouache, and we should be able to just hit the edge of that just a little bit. Just a little bit. You don't want to use too much because it'll deaden everything else. So you just want to make sure you have enough that you can tell where the light source is. Right? I think that's got our background.
Pamela wants to know if you still do what's on your easel.
I do, Pamela. If you want to send in what's on your easel, we're not ready for it tonight because it's we're already streaming. But yes, we're gonna do these every Thursday. Matter of fact, let me dry this real quick, and I'll run you through the schedule of what we're actually doing. So I want to make sure that none of this bleeds in because we're moving on to the model now, and I want to make sure none of this bleeds onto her. I'm painting with kind of a dry brush, so it dries really quickly. But what I'm noticing is that moon is not standing out. So I'm going to come back in with another real light coat of Payne's Gray, very light coat. And I'm just going to wash everything except that moon. Because I want that moon to just stand out. You can pick up a little more when you get closer to the edge. And then we can make that, kind of make the bat shadows go into the fog. But then let's take some, oh, that's the wrong brush. Let's take our Payne's Gray and let's make sure we absolutely don't want to lose our bats. Right? And we absolutely don't want to lose this being super dark. Standing out from that background. See how it has kind of a haze to it now? These shapes should blend together. The grass and the tombstone should blend together. You shouldn't be able to distinguish between the grass and the tombstone down here. My daughter is giving me information. She's feeding me spy information. I just got a text message from her that told me what kind of pumpkins, what kind of coffee, if I wanted to sneak and get my wife a coffee, what kind of coffee she likes. That kind of spy network is awesome. Ivy says it's 47 degrees there, and there's a low of 40 and a high tomorrow in the 50s. We were in the 60s today most of the day. I think we hit a high of 70 at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I absolutely adore it. Last night was the first night we had where the temperature was below 55, and that allowed me to make uh, chicken noodle soup. And I wait all year for the temperatures to get low like that so that I can make chicken noodle soup. Now, I did obscure my white highlight, so I need to come back and add my highlight back in on the tombstones. I don't want to lose my tombstones. I don't want to lose the top of my tree. I don't want to lose the edge of my tree. Nor do I want to lose this tree over here. All right. And maybe, and you have to be careful about this because you can overdo this real easy. Maybe just a couple of blades of grass, just so you can see that the grass does in fact go over everything. So you have to be careful with all that. It's just really quiet without the music. When we go to break, maybe I'll figure out the music. It's already 7:30. I was afraid to share, Mother, and I know it's your birthday and the whole works. I was afraid to share because I know that everybody else in your household can't have it. And so I didn't want you to feel guilty. I was saving you from the guilt, is what I was doing. I didn't want you to feel guilty about having you would think on her birthday I would have saved her some. I'm a terrible child. I'm a bad scene. I'm a bad seed. All right, so let's switch to our Corpse Bride reference. We're going to be done with that. We're going to call that background finished. And let's switch to our Corpse Bride reference. She needs to be. We're going to start with a little. We're going to start with that green again, like the moon. But I tell you what. Let's clear off a spot with no Payne's Gray. Let's push that Payne's Gray aside for now. Right. My head. My head's right in the way of what you needed to see. We'll push that Payne's Gray aside for now. We get a little bit of yellow ochre out here. A little bit of cobalt blue. None of this dries as dark as it looks on the palette. So this is just about the same overtone as what we used for the moon. We're just going to wash over her. What I may end up doing is coming back with some acrylic on top. Acrylic white. To just give her some really nice highlights and glow. Haven't decided yet. Ivy's leaning towards a bat house for drawing tomorrow, for coloring during over the Ivy's channel. She colors with her coloring pencils, and she does it outside by the she's going to be outside by the fire pit tomorrow. And she doesn't know, she's talking about doing a bat house. I guess that's better than a cat house. Let me dry this real quick. I don't want this to bleed. I want her to be in detail. Putting her in detail is what's going to bring her to the front. All right. All right. So now we're going to move into what I often tease about being my absolute favorite part of the whole process. And that is the grisaille, the underpainting. I absolutely love this part. This is my favorite part of the whole process. I could do this part and call it done and just be happy. I tell you what though, we're going to have to take this bottom piece of tape off to do this part.
Okay, you take the top tape off too.
Off what?
Don't you need to take the top tape off also?
No, I thought I'd leave her head where it is. I don't know. You think I should make her head pop out over the edge?
I don't know. You said you were going to have to extend it when you traced her.
I think I just want to do that. I think I just want her hand to come up. It might make more sense though if I go ahead and pop her head off the top there. Just gonna pop your little head right off the top. Let's see if we can make the tape do what it's supposed to do. It has served its purpose. The bulk of the coloring is done. The only other question remaining is whether or not I am going to ink it. I haven't decided yet because I really like the illustrative effect of inking it, but it's not necessary for this. So I don't know yet if I want to. We want to make sure that we get the design of the dress where it goes. We don't want to lose the highlights of the florets in her dress. But at the same time, this side is in the shadows. And so we have to remember to add the shadows. but it will be darker because she's in the foreground. And make sure that we don't, like I said, we want to make sure we don't lose these florets. But she is in shadow. What are you laughing at?
No, I was going to tell you something, but then I decided I'd just leave it.
There may not be anything more than this painting, than this. There may not be, this may not actually be an underpainting. This may be the actual painting because it's a ghost scene, right? Is she, we have, that's what we have to decide. Is she more than this, or is she just a shimmering, or is she just a ghost in the cemetery looking for her lover that promised to take her away? In her younger days, they called her Delta Dawn, prettiest woman you ever laid eyes on. Till a man of low means by her side promised her he'd take her for his bride. You see, we lost the flowers. I lost the bouquet. Delta Dawn, what's that flower you have on? Could it be a faded rose from days gone by? Did I hear you say he was meeting you here today to take you to his mansion in the sky? I don't know, I may ink it. I'm feeling the urge to ink it pretty strong.
You can't resist the ink.
Yeah, I know. I just love this. I just love doing it.
I don't think there's a part that you don't love.
Of the ink, you should,
No, of everything. You just love arty.
I do. This needs to be my day job. I got to figure out how to make this my day job. Oh, you know what? I promised you guys I would tell you what the schedule was when we came back from the hair drying a minute ago. So Pamela, uh, is Pamela still here? Haven't seen her chat in a while. Pamela, on Thursdays going forward, we're going to do the show like we used to. It's not going to be art journaling though. I mean, I'm not saying there won't be art journaling. It won't be primarily art journaling. It will be primarily what we're doing now. It won't be primarily art journaling. I'm not saying I won't art journal, but on Thursdays, this is what we're going to do: is we're going to paint like this,
So,
and then on Tuesdays we are illustrating a book. On Tuesdays, I've chosen for this time I've chosen the Gift of the Magi, and we're going through the process of illustrating it. Where's her thumb? Her thumb should have been right there. Is where her thumb should have been. But on Tuesdays, we're illustrating a book. So on Thursdays, yes, absolutely, send me your what's on your easels, and I will share your works with everybody else. Happily. Whatever you've got going on, whatever you're working on, whatever your classes you're offering, all of it. I want to know about it and I want to share it. And then on Tuesdays, we're going to illustrate the book. I actually have a friend that has written a children's book, and we're going to talk to her about how she got it published, how she got it illustrated, and the process that she went through. Malia Nieto. I may interview. I thought today that maybe we could talk to her about her processes so that we could learn from them. I thought that would be fun. Yeah, Ivy's talking about how she bought herself a planner. Check it out, Ivy. Look at that. I'm just surprised it doesn't have unicorns on it. I am getting organized. I am just surprised I didn't get one with unicorns. I actually looked for Hello Kitty. I actually looked for Hello Kitty. I just didn't find what I was looking for, and I didn't want to settle. What are we doing on time? Is it 8 o'clock yet? No, it's only 7:30. Nothing happens at 8 o'clock. I was just thinking maybe we would want to take a potty break. You could tell I've been a dad for a very long time. You can tell I have been a dad for a very long time because I call it a potty break. Can't talk, Harding. I think I mentioned this last time. My oldest son turned 35 in September. My youngest son is trying to get a driver's license. He is 15. He is trying to get a driver's license. All right. Got to switch back to a bigger brush. And more water, because that has got to fan out. Like that. That way, her edges stay clean. Now, again, the question is, do we ink it? Or do I just keep trying to go in with the darker and darker to define the edges? Because I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying both. I will tell you what I'm mad about, though. I got watercolor down here below the edge. We'll try my toy out here in a minute and see if I can get that gone. I have an eraser that erases, that will actually erase watercolor. We'll see how it does. Can't talk. Arting. Can't talk. Arting. Hey, when that happens. I think I liked it better before that. That's for sure. I don't know. Maybe need some red. Just a touch of red right there at her lips. What do you think? maybe right here on the tips of her fingernails. And then maybe a little bit of gouache right there to bring that thumb back out. And now, I think I'm going to use some white acrylic. You almost bought the same one? That would have been cute. Ivy says she almost bought the same planner as me. That would have been cute. You don't want to use too much of this. This will absolutely kill a painting. Too much highlight will absolutely kill a painting. Just want enough to show your edges. And your patterns, if you have them. Just enough. Can't talk. But you absolutely don't want to overdo it.
Highlights make a world of difference.
Don't they? But if you use too much, they stop being highlights. So you have to be really careful not to overdo it. Really careful. But you absolutely want the edges to shine through. Like that. I don't know. I feel like making the... No, that's not right. I feel like that background could use more green. Just to make her stand out more blue. Especially with that red lipstick. So this may screw the whole thing up. We're about to find out together. This may screw the whole thing up.
That's not great.
It is, because it's Payne's. It's yellow ochre and Payne's gray. Payne's gray is more of a blue. Yellow ochre is a yellow, and yellow and blue make green.
You are a brave soul.
Right? Imagine if that hadn't worked. What would we have done? I would have failed on national television, on a global stage. How would I have survived the shame? You know how I survived the shame? Because this is fun for me. Now, this down here irritates me. Not having the tape gone made that unprotected. But look how it made her pop out. Now, I will tell you what absolutely works there is a magic eraser, a Mr. Clean magic eraser. You can put a piece of tape across there and go across there with a Mr. Clean magic eraser, and that will clean that right up. And the problem with that is I don't have a Mr. Clean magic eraser. If I had a Mr. Clean magic eraser, I could clean that right up. But I don't have one. So I don't know what I'm going to do to make that work. I mentioned earlier, first I have this nylon eraser here that may help some of it. We can try it. But I can tell you that watercolor does not like to come off with nylon eraser. It takes a lot of scrubbing, and what you're really trying to do is you're trying to scrub away the paper. The other thing I can do is I can reach over here and I can get, if I can find my X-Acto knife, I can pull out my X-Acto knife, if I can find it, because I wasn't prepared to use it. And usually I have a pocket knife, but my pocket knife, here we go. This will work. This will work like a charm. If I can get the right angle. Problem is getting the right angle.
This example just proves how art teaches you to problem solve.
Yeah, so I always say, when we teach you art in school, and I noticed that Oklahoma just decided to take the art requirement off of their state testing. and you know, bully for them. But what they've done is they've removed the standard for um, thinking on the fly. We don't teach you art. We don't teach you art in school because we think you're going to be Picasso, Pablo Pikachu, or anything like that. We teach you art in school to teach you how to problem solve on the fly. The whole point of teaching you art in school, we teach you math in school so that you can learn how to formulate problems and solve problems in a very straightforward, very formulaic manner. We teach you science in school so we can teach you how to learn and pay attention to observation and make your educated guesses based on what you know, and then test the hypotheses and make observations and adjust your hypotheses based on what you actually see. That's why we teach you science. We don't teach you science because we think you're going to be the next Oppenheimer. We teach you science, or the next Einstein. We teach you science to teach you how to make observations and adjust your hypotheses based on your observations and your testing. And of course, we teach you reading and writing so that you can read and write. But we don't teach you art so that you can be the next Pablo Pikachu or Andy Warhol. We teach you art so that you can think on the fly, so that you can correct mistakes, so that when something happens, you know, if you've got time to formulate a plan like you do in math and science, that's fantastic. But what happened to us tonight? That's live, right? We're live on an international webcast. So what happens is, you know, how do you correct it? How do you formulate the plan to correct it instantaneously? That's what art teaches you. So when we teach them art in school, we're teaching them how to problem solve on the fly, live. And I think that is probably the most important thing we could teach a kid, is how to problem solve live problems. And to take that out of the school district is ridiculous to me. But that is where we are. And that is, to me, the whole point. Now, the question is, I'm pretty much done with this. The question is, do we want to stop because it's 8 o'clock, or do we want to push forward and do another hour? And what would we do if we did? But it's also awesome. It gets the brain going. Exactly. It gets the brain going. Problem solving on the fly is something we have absolutely been missing. Absolutely missing in our education. And thank you for attending my TED Talk. What do you think? I could keep messing with it. I do want the bats darker. I'm not satisfied with the bats. It's not Halloweeny without bats. You want something to look brighter, you make everything around it darker. Anyway, I could keep going. I think I'm going to call this one done. Ivy says she's ready to go to color for a bit, so she says do what you will. But what will we do for the next hour? Draw a cat?
Very nice. I like that. Oh, the splatters.
Where is my gouache? Let's get some gouache on there. Nice. All right. Let me dry that before I put it away so nothing. All right. So here's what we'll do. I'll take a potty break. Freshen up my coffee. You guys take a little break. We'll be right back, and we'll figure out. Maybe we'll do a cat. Maybe we'll do a pinup. Who knows what we'll do? It's still Halloweeny, so we have to figure out what we're going to do. But anyway, I'll be right back.
Raindrops are falling on my head, just like the guy whose feet are too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun, and I said I didn't like the way he got things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops are falling on my head, they keep falling.
Cookie cutter? No. That squeezes it to make a shape. To make a shape. See? It makes a shape.
Dinosaurs? You got dinosaurs?
There's only one dinosaur. This is a turtle.
What's a turtle?
Uh-huh.
What is that?
A penguin.
Penguin? Oh, that's not a dinosaur. I see it. And then we have, what is this? A flower?
A flower and a square. Dad, can you move this? And you have to trace it over and then like...
Oh, I see. Okay, this goes in here like this.
Mm-hmm. And then you put this in to squeeze the Play-Doh out.
Oh. So then we could take a big lump of Play-Doh like this.
I can put it a little bit in.
Stick it in there like that.
And then squeeze it out.
And squeeze it out.
And then make a moon.
Like a big blue syringe.
And then you just cut it off. See? And then you just cut it off because you don't want it to stick all over the place. Now I have to cut it.
Okay.
Because you don't want it to be long to mess up your Play-Doh. There you go.
And you have to be sure and get it out every time.
You have to get that out.
Why?
So it can't be dirty and dry out the Play-Doh.
So it won't be dirty and dry out the coat.
Hey, I need to put
I just want to make...
another moon.
Yeah.
I want to make a circle or a star. And you have to squish it so it can go in there, or you can like fold it where there's. When you see hair, you have to fold it so your mothers can't see it.
Uh-oh! Uh-oh! What day is it? Who can tell me what day it is?
I wish you could see her face.
What day is it? Mom! What day is it? What day is it? What day is it? Come on, I know you can hear me. Don't pretend you can't hear me. Mom! What day is it? Mom! Missy!
Don't say I love you.
What day is it? Missy! What day is it? Come on, Missy! Come on! What day is it? What day is it? Little girl! What day? Come on, tell me, what day is it? What day is it?
Thursday.
Thursday! Woohoo! Thursday! The artistic backer will make you happier than a Norse god on Thursday. Wish my wife was here. She always knows where my glasses are. Okay. So we're back. All right. So what is going on? There we go. So we're back. I don't know why it went back to my face. So the question, well, I mean, I guess it could go back to my face because we're done with this painting. I still just want to ink this, and I still am not happy with what's going on up here. Because we did that in two different parts. It has a solid line across there, and I just don't like it. I just can't stop.
I hate to do this, but I have to say goodnight.
Okay, my mom has to leave. Mom, thank you so much for your help. I really do appreciate it.
Okay, I'll see you guys in the morning.
Okay, I love you.
Love you too.
Bye-bye. She's been helping me out in the 5:30 in the morning. Is Pamela still here? At 5:30 in the morning, we do a broadcast where we I sketch the random objects and talk and give random facts about the random objects, and she's been really helping me out. So it's been a very long day for her, and I doubt she had a nap. And then she's got to help my grandmother and my dad get ready for bed. And so I just really appreciate all the help that she gives me. All the time that she has given me. All right. I'm going to call this done. I should have called it done a while ago. Where is my pen? I want to ink it. That is, yes. So, Pamela, did you hear we have, so at 5:30 in the morning, we do the, at 5:30 in the morning, we do the what's on your, we do, no, we don't do the what's on your easel. We do the random objects. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I have, every morning at 5:30 in the morning, we do a sketch like this one, where we talk about this is a Native American chief, so we talk about Native Americans, and we talk about the trope of chiefs in the movies, and how Barnum and Bailey and other such hucksters took the image and made it into a cartoon of what it actually was. And we talk about all that while I draw these things. We do that every morning at 5:30, from 5:30 to 6. And then on Tuesdays, we are illustrating a book. Let me show you. We have a book here that we've started. We've chosen to do The Gift of the Magi. And so what we've done so far is we've done the storyboard, where we've laid out how many pictures we want and kind of where we want the pictures to go. I can't get the pages to turn. My skin is dry. We've kind of laid out the pictures and where we want them to go. So we've got a really quick storyboard going there, and we've started some character development, where we start defining what our character looks like, what his character qualities are, and watching and then what we think he might look like. And then we did a preliminary sketch, and then we did the pros and cons of what we liked, what we didn't like, and we came back and we did a final sketch of what we think our guy Jim looks like in our story. And so we've got his overall look done. So starting, I may come back Saturday, since the wife and kids are supposed to be gone this weekend. We want to get this done and get it turned out by the first week of December, so that people can buy it for Christmas. But so I may work a couple of Saturdays and Sundays in on this. But this is where we are on the book so far. We have made made it up to the character development of Jim. We still have Della, the store clerk, and Madame Sanfrey to do. But I was going to show you. We outlined the steps on how to illustrate a book, and this is very important. It's very detailed instructions on how to illustrate a book. You find a story, you edit the story, you illustrate the story, you publish the story, right? It's just 4 steps. So as long as we just do those 4 steps, we'll be done, right? So that's where we are. But I mean, we did some editing. We spent 3 hours on this Tuesday, and we got as far as an illustration of Jim. So that's what we're doing on Tuesdays. And then on Thursdays, I want to continue to do this. Next Thursday will be the first Thursday of November. And the important thing about that is that if we want to make Christmas cards, we have to have them done in time to have them printed and sent. So next Thursday, I'm going to do Christmas cards. But for the rest of tonight, let's do another illustration. What should we illustrate? Anybody have any suggestions? A frog, a snail? I kind of want to do a snail. I'm not prepared to do a snail. I'm not prepared to do a cat. I'm not prepared to do anything like that, but when have I ever let the lack of preparation stop me from trying, right? Yeah, Ivy says that as hard as she tries, 6:30 a.m. is her best sleeping time. Pamela's got the same thing going on. She's been watching, but she watches it when she can stay awake, not at 5:30 in the morning. And honestly, I wholeheartedly understand that. I am one of those people that wakes up at. I'm one of those people that wakes up at at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. I wake up every morning, 4:30 in the morning, regardless. Now, most days I can force myself to go back to sleep. Most days I can force myself to go back to sleep. But if I have anything going on whatsoever, my mind will immediately start racing. But at 4:30 in the morning every day, I wake up regardless. And I wanted to do a drawing practice, and so I started drawing at 5:30 in the morning about a year ago, a little over a year ago. And then one day I just said, you know what, I'm here. Let's turn the cameras on. And that was in May. So I think it was the last day of May, second to last day of May, somewhere around there. I turned the cameras on, and we're up to day. What day are we on? 214. A horror snail with a big open mouth, bright green drool everywhere. I don't want to be a morning person, Pamela. So today was the white-faced capuchin monkey. So we did a white-faced capuchin monkey this morning, and you can see I've got notes where I talk about what's going on, where I give the details about the lifestyle of the white-faced capuchin monkey. Yesterday was a horned lizard, a horny toad. The day before that was a delivery van. I mean, they're really just random objects, and I give 9 fun facts about them and talk about them. I'm up, and that's my drawing practice, and I do it every day, and I've been doing it. The whole reason I opened the book was to find out what the number of days was. I think tomorrow is 215. Yeah, today was 214, and so tomorrow will be 215. 215 days in a row. I have gotten up at 5:30 in the morning, and I have started streaming at 5:30 in the morning. So 215 days in a row. So let's see if we can find us a snail to paint. Go. Let's see if we can find us a good image of a snail that we can put glowing eyes and maybe some bat wings. That would be cool, right? That's AI. We're not going to use the AI snails. Oh, that's a good image. Let's go with that one. The snail, that goes back with our atmospheric perspective that we were talking about earlier. Let me just show you how that snail shell is blurred out to show the atmospheric perspective. The face is all nice and sharp, but the shell is blurred out for the atmospheric perspective. So let's see what we can do with that. I bet we can do a lot with that. We'll start with a pencil. A snail with a bat in its mouth, like Aussie. Could be an Aussie snail. We've got an awful lot of paper here to fill for the snail. This way or this way? I think this way. We'll just block him in real quick. I'm going to have the top part of his shell go off the page. But then you won't be able to see his bat wings. Oh no. What am I going to do? I'm going to exaggerate his eye stalks. Because it's the essence of snail, right? We're not actually trying to draw this snail. We just want to make sure we have all of the features of the snail when we draw the snail. So this is just essence of snail. Dun, 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 dun. A snail with a bat in its mouth. The reason Ivy says the reasons we're such good art buddies is because we bounce crazy ideas back and forth and somehow something good comes out. Sure enough. Ivy, Pamela, and I go back a long ways too. We've been friends 13 or 16 years also. Pamela, you actually came to the art studio. Didn't you actually come to the studio in Oklahoma? She's in the panhandle of Oklahoma. It's been a long time since I've seen you, my friend. You know what? I have lived here in Texas. October is 10 years in Texas. December will be 10 years. December will be 10 years in this house. And that was we were talking about that the other day. That is just shocking how fast that 10 years has gone by. Right? She says, no way. Yeah. So when you and I met, it would have been boy 2 is 16, going to be 16 in January. Girl 2, 21. She's 20 right now. She'll be 21 in July. They were babies. They were babies when we started the show, when we started doing this. Like the little girl, during the potty break when we showed the the video of me and her playing with clay she could have been 4. And we used to do that stuff all the time. We used to get up every Saturday and go to the local cafe and go get breakfast together. We used to do that kind of stuff all the time. And now yeah, boy 2 is like 2 when we met. Absolutely. All right, so here we go. This is going to be an illustration, so we'll go ahead and ink it. It's been a few days since I've drawn a snail. I love drawing snails and frogs. What we have here is essence of snail. essence of snail. Can't talk, Harding. I can talk. It's just difficult to stay on the lines when I try to talk and draw at the same time. This part is so exacting. I want to make sure I get everything where it goes, how it goes. And if I talk, it seems to use that same part of my brain. And as I only have the 2 brain cells working anyway, I find it best not to disrupt them in their function. They get cranky. Right? When you only have 2 brain cells to start with, it's best not to confuse them. Then they start arguing with each other, and then the craziness really happens. Ivy says, true story. True story. Get rid of all them stray pencil marks. I have to be careful though. I will accidentally grab the edge of the paper and rip or crease my paper, so I have to be careful. I tend to get a little aggressive. Especially at this stage of the night. And there may or may not be rum in my coffee. Where'd my spider go? Oh, I'm drawing in my spider. I had the spider set there to draw your attention to when it gets to the point where it says subtle hint. Everybody's supposed to go, subtle hint, and then you're supposed to talk about what that subtle hint is. But you can't see the subtle hint. Move this out of the way. I'm not using this anymore. And we're switching watercolor palettes. I don't know. That other watercolor palette has brighter colors. Maybe we don't want to switch watercolor palettes. Maybe we want to stick with the college fund palette. I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do on that is, but I can tell you what I'm doing. I'm moving to the sketch palette. Here, I gotta get some water in my water brush. Luckily, I have this big tube of water right here, a tub of water right here that I can just take advantage of. instead of having to jump up and run to the kitchen. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. That midnight blue is just not doing its thing. That midnight blue should be mixing with the cobalt blue to make a really nice dark. Then I can add a little black and make my own Payne's gray as cool or light as I want, is the intention. Now, this is tricky. It's tricky to rock around the truck. It's tricky. It's tricky. This is tricky because we're using our imagination to figure out where the light is coming from. We are using our imagination. I'm the only one in the room. But it feels like this is a collaborative effort. It feels like we might be working together just a little bit on this. And so I'm going to continue to say we. We are imagining where this light is going and coming from. Sorry. I got excited because I can see it in my head and it makes perfect sense to me. I wish I had some salt. I need some salt, but that would kill a snail, right? I may have never told you this before, but this is without a doubt my absolute favorite part of the whole process. This underpainting part makes the whole thing. This is the part that if you get it wrong, everything's wrong. You can get everything wrong up to this part, but if as long as you get this right, you'll be okay. You can't fix a bad drawing. I want to make sure I can make that clear. You can't fix a bad drawing with grisaille or shading or anything like that. If it's a bad drawing, it's a bad drawing. But you can make it a more interesting drawing. You can make it a more interesting painting if your grisaille is on point. How are we doing on time? Oh, it's 8:30 already. We got to get a move on. We can't just go indefinitely here. Some of us have art to do at 5:30 in the morning. don't don't curse on live television, and don't drop your paintbrush on your painting. We just lost our family friendly rating. All right. Let me dry this real quick. Let me dry this real quick so that we can move on to the next phase of this. At least one of us needs to paint a Santa tonight. Are you painting a Santa? Is it time to paint a Santa? Pamela is painting a Santa for a local bazaar. That's cool, Pamela. Yes, it is. Hey, come say hi.
Okay. I don't remember how to be in camera. Oh.
Girl 2.
Hello.
20 and a half years old.
Hey, not too much. Not half yet.
Yeah.
I still have
July
a couple
was-
months. July was
January's half. January's half. You're right. I don't care when you were born.
Look at nail. Is it a poopy nail?
It is baby snail. Love you too. She just came in here to kiss me. Oh.
That's not a question, but I
Well, what's the question?
Well, Mommy wants ice cream.
Well, I mean, you have a store right there.
She wants candies.
I can't help you with that.
I know. That's what I was coming down to see, is if you were done with the stream.
Nope.
Okay, that's okay.
But there's a store right there.
I know, and the weather's gorgeous. Is it a zombie snail?
It is a zombie snail.
I want to be a zombie snail when I grow up.
I want to be a zombie snail when I grow up.
I'll leave you alone.
You're not hurting anything.
I know. Do you want me to get you ice cream?
No.
Anybody in chat want ice cream?
Anybody in the chat wants some ice cream? My little girl's going to the ice cream store. Go on. Shari says Kirk wants some. This is pure imagination. I don't do this often. I should do this way more often than I do. And I don't do it very often at all. But here we are. Here we are indeed. Now, I have to dry that. Because if I go on to the next phase without drying that, that will just bleed on to whatever I want to do. So let me dry that real quick. This is going to take us longer than the 30 minutes we allotted for it, I guarantee it. Let me get some orange going on over here. And we're going to add some midnight blue to it. Get us a nice brown going. And we're going to take that. We're going to color in those stripes. Ivy's going to freak out because we didn't do the yellows first. But it's okay, Ivy. Trust me. I have a plan. Because as far as I'm concerned, this is all still underpainting. It's OBKB. And you know what happens if it messes up? Nothing. I had fun. We had some fun. We had some laughs. And you get to say, I told you. I done told you, boy. Don't be adding no colors till you add the yellow. And I get to say, okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Now we're going to skip around a minute here. Because I need that to dry. I'm going to pull up some yellow ochre. Just a little yellow ochre. Just a little bit. Ivy says she ordered the Kirby Rosan's 10th anniversary edition book today. You're going to have to tell me what a Kirby Rosan book is. Oh, it's a coloring book. Gotcha. Gotcha. Cool. I was in a store. We have a store here called Texas Art Supply. And it is a fantastic, fantastic store. You'll never guess what they sell there, Ivy. None of you, Pamela, Shari, you guys will never guess what they sell at Texas Art Supply. It was a complete shock to me but it was art supplies. I know, right? I was completely blown away by the idea, just the sheer idea that a place like that would have art supplies. It was I mean, we were all completely aghast. It was crazy, right? Right? Huh?
I said it was very shocking.
It was very shocking.
No socks or anything.
They didn't have socks. They didn't have groceries. All they had was art supplies, and it was really the really interesting. There were no Christmas trees, no. You know what I mean? I mean, I was just completely shocked by this. But we have this store called Texas Art Supply. We were in there, and I saw the coloring books, and I seriously thought for a very long time, what if I bought a coloring book and started coloring with the other colorists on the interwebs? And you know what really crossed my mind? All of the thought that I put into it while I was standing there looking at the coloring books, I thought, how cool would it be if I bought Ivy's coloring book off of Amazon and watercolored it? I thought that. I said to myself, self, and I knew it was me talking because I was wearing my underwear. I said, self, what if we bought Ivy's coloring book and colored it? How cool would that be? All right, Shari says, no way. Oh my God, no way, right? Pamela French says, what? I don't believe you. It's crazy. It's crazy. This place, look it up. It's called Texas Art Supply. I was completely shocked.
They have tiny color pencils.
They have. Oh, do we? Can you find them?
I don't know. I can look. Hold on.
Oh, please.
We bought some miniature colored pencils. I bought a sketchbook. It was whack. The whole thing was whack. The whole concept was completely whack. I was blown away, completely blown away. Just completely blown away by the whole concept. I bought this little eraser thing here. I bought a sketchbook. I mean, I was shocked. I was just completely shocked. My hand only arcs one direction, so I have to turn the book to make sure that I am arcing in the direction that my hand arcs. Can't talk. Arting. Find them?
I had to ask mommy, but yeah, I found them.
Look at these tiny little. Look at these tiny little pencils.
And they work.
And they work, and they have a lot of pigment, and they're really good quality. They have a little bitty pencil sharpener right there, a little bitty eraser, a little bitty nylon eraser. Then this little bitty kit. Look at this. How does it open? It's magic.
You want help?
Yeah.
Give me.
Does it slide out?
Yeah. Like slides out.
Like slides? Oh, with the grip.
Yeah.
With the finger grip.
Yeah.
It turns out like that. I didn't get to play with them. They got to play with them.
Oh, you were driving.
This little bitty kit with this little pencil sharpener. We bought this at Texas Art Supply. You could just slip that into a little pocket pouch for an art kit. They have really good pigment.
They're so tiny.
They're so tiny.
They're perfect. I want the pink one.
It's important to keep this wet. You want this to bleed. You saw a while ago, if you were here earlier, you saw that I separate on my college fund watercolor kit. I keep the warm colors on one side and the cool colors on another side. I kind of do the same thing here in that I keep the blue, the yellow, the red, and the brown separate. Sometimes there's a little overlap, and when it gets to be too much, I'll clean it out. But that is how I keep my colors the way that I want them. But I do want that to bleed just a little bit. Just a little bit. With a little bit of luck, with a little bit of luck. All right, let's come back in with some more ochre down here. Then we'll come back with some white highlights in a minute. Then we'll darken the outside of it. I don't want anything white that I don't make white. So if I've left some areas unpainted, I want to make sure and color them in right now. Can't talk, Harding. All right. Let me dry that. We just have like, there's just 4 steps, right? We just have like 3 more steps to go. Ivy says, "Oh my God, how terrible." Pamela French says, "My hand just cramped looking at it." Right? I'm going to switch from the water brush because we have a much bigger picture than what I normally do. I'm going to switch from the water brush and switch to a mop over here because I want to cover more area bigger. But you know what? I really don't want brown as much as I want this indigo color that I have going over here, this Payne's gray color that I have going over here. So let's get a big mop of that. Let's get a big mop of that Payne's gray. What a drag is getting old. Things are different, they say. I hear every mother say. You just don't appreciate that they get tired. I'm going to stop just shy of that green because I have a purpose for that green. And I need it to bleed. But if you take more of those, you will get an overdose. No more running for the shelter of your mother's little helper. There's a glare right where I need to see. This is a stiffer brush than the water brush, and it lets me scrub a little bit. So I don't get the lines. I can scrub them out. It's not a very stiff brush, but it's stiffer than the water brush. But it's a for real mop, and that makes it great for spreading big chunks of water, big chunks of paint fast. Again with the glare right there where I need to see. All right. And this is not watercolor paper. This is mixed media paper. And so it granulates, which gives us a nice effect if that's what you're into. And for this, I think it'd be great. For our purposes here today, I think the granulation is fine. If I were trying to create a smooth skinned pinup, I would be angry at all this granulation. But for what we're doing right now, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. All right, one more time I'm going to dry it because I don't want the highlights to bleed into the rest of the color. Let's see here. Now we need some gouache. Need just a little bit, just a little bit. And we need it to do that. We want highlights across here and across here. We want highlights here. We want highlights here. But you notice how the gouache is not white. I don't know, you may not notice how the gouache is not white. We'll come back with some white acrylic here in a minute. The gouache is not white. The gouache is still, because it's watered down, the gouache is still kind of transparent. Because it's watered down, it's still kind of transparent, so it's still picking up the colors behind it, and that's what we want. That's what we want. Because it's not a, it's just a well lit area. It's not the actual highlight. The actual highlight, we're going to come in with some white here in just a second. Stages. We have to do this in stages. And then we can ink it. Once we get finished with this part of it, then we can ink it. And we have to figure out what I did with the paint. I feel like I'm about to get slimed. Pamela's in the chat saying, I feel like I'm about to be slimed. Again, you have to be very careful not to overdo this part of it. Because it's real easy. This will make it very dull. If you overdo this part of it, it's real easy to make it very dull. As long as you are sparing with this, it will stand out and illustrate your drawing. But if you get carried away and you spread it out too much, do too much of it, it will flatten your painting. And you have to be very, very, very careful not to do that. I think I'm going to call this done. I think that if I do much more, I will mess it up. So I think that we're going to dry this the last time and then ink it. Make sure I get all of the acrylic paint out of the bristles and off of the ferrule so that I don't have to deal with this not being shaped properly when it comes down to watercolor again. Put that away. Dry this one more time. All right. Let's ink it real quick before Pamela and Ivy get slimed. Because they both feel like they're about to get slimed. I think my wife and kids just got in the car to go get ice cream. That's a good sign because my wife's been sick all day. Are you going to get ice cream? You want to say hi to the people? You don't have to. This camera's not on me.
Hi, people.
If you hurry before the camera changes. I love you.
Hi, people.
I'm glad to see you up and about.
Migraine.
I know.
Ugly.
I know.
Not friendly.
Not friendly. I'm not your friend. You're not invited to my birthday. Migraine. She's had a migraine all day. Poor kid. She hates when I call her kid. I've been calling her kid for 30 years. She hates when I call her kid. I don't know if she hates it. Because sometimes she's like, you know, I'm not that kid anymore. But I don't care. I still call you kid. All right. How do we feel about this? I think it's 9:15. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I think we're going to put some strawberry sprinkles on it. Call it a snail. With glowing green eyes. It's a good thing she got out of here before the camera switched to that, huh? I don't know. I think that background could be darker. Don't you think that background could be just a little bit darker? Your redheaded granddaughter is now 25 and she's about to be a paramedic. My goodness. My goodness. That's crazy talk. 25, huh? That's too young for my son. Too old for my son. He's 16. About to be. My oldest son's 25. She's too young for him, and he's happily married anyway. You make things brighter by making the things around them darker. So if something is not showing up as bright as you want it to be, make everything around it darker. I'm getting water spatters everywhere. I don't know how that keeps happening. There we go. There we go. I do think that snail shell could be a bit more red too. Can't talk, Harding. Almost. Almost done. I think that's going to do it for me right there. Don't you think? I think that's probably a pretty good finish. Where is my pen? What is today? The 30th? You know what? We didn't sign the other one either. Where did it go? I did too. I signed it right here. Okay. So there we go. There's the zombie bride. There's the snail. Let me dry that, and then I can pick it up and tip it around and show you. I don't want the colors to run. Pamela says her granddaughter's already married. Sings in a band. What kind of band? Rock and roll? That's fun, though. All right. So there is the snail. You know what? We did this the other day. How do we fix this? Have all this light and none of it shines. None of it shines on the artwork when I need to show it off. So there is the snail with the zombie glowing eyes. Right? We didn't get his bat wings on him, though. And then there is our zombie bride. Spoopy Halloweeny season. All right. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do look forward to this. This is our second Thursday back from the dead. It's our second Thursday. Tomorrow morning, 5:30 in the morning, we'll start we'll do the sketches again. 5:30 in the morning. We're going to do it's a zombie because tomorrow's Halloween. It's a zombie coming up out of the grave. So I'll do the zombie rising out of his grave tomorrow morning at 5:30. Saturday, probably around 2 o'clock, I'm going to stream again. We're going to work on the book. Sunday, maybe we're going to work on the book. And Saturday, of course, Saturday and Sunday, every day at 5:30, we're going to do it. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I do look forward to this all the time. I really love arting with my besties. So this is when we dance to make sure that the lag is cut up with the stream, because I can see in the background that the video is still a long ways away. We want to make sure that you have a chance to click on the clicky thingies so you can watch the next video if you're watching the recording. One of them will be one that YouTube thinks you like, and one of them will be one that is part of this series. So click on those this way if you're on the horizontal. And be sure and tune in next time. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. Then we dance. Thank you so much, guys. The lag. Oh my God, the lag.
I got me a lover down in New Orleans, kept him warm in the winter, left me frozen in the spring. Why am I? How the seasons go by. I like to get high and I love to get low, so the hearts keep breaking and the heads just roll. Whoa. So the story goes. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. I'm climbing over mountains and I'm sailing over seas. 1, 2, 3, they're gonna run back to me. They always wanna come, but they never wanna leave. My exes and the oh-ohs, they haunt me like a ghost. They want me to make them oh, and they won't let go. X's and O's. All you need is your own imagination, so use it, that's what it's for, that's what it's for. Go inside, all you find is inspiration. Your dreams will open the door, open up your... It makes no difference if you're black or white, if you're a boy or a girl.